Hello. Right, we are going to do this video here to enjoy some of the sun because it's been very depressing and I have no motivation. I just cannot believe how quickly it has just gone. Right, it's autumn now / winter. It's just been like a complete here we are. I've dragged my chair in from outside. This is so faded this year. So I've got this nice throw, which I've put on it. Let's see if I can get a better picture, because it's just going to be. I mean, when it's sunny in the winter, at least I get this, and I know I have to appreciate this for what it is, because it's really nice. And I know I'm very lucky to have this. And I am trying to thank myself for all the things. It's just, and I'm sure a lot of people will feel like this. I don't understand why there's so much mud everywhere. I didn't even walk home. There's no mud on my trainers. I don't understand. We haven't been out on the balcony. And I only hoovered the other day because I honestly thought, see, this is what I'm talking about with regards to my motivation. I thought that stuff in this box, and it's piled up in here, I would have, number one, affected the repairs that needed to be done to that jacket. There's laundry that's there. And I thought, I'll find it in me to photograph this. And I haven't. So this is going to be a haul video, I think. Let's do a haul video, because if I do a haul video, then it's all going to be out, and I will do it. However, I yet again need to hoover this carpet, even though I only hoovered this on Friday with a view to do this. So it is now Monday, yeah? So I'd had a week off work, but then I've worked Sunday, so now I have Monday, Tuesday off, and then I'm back in work. So I have a normal week this week, and then next week I'm on overtime. Yes, that's where we are. So Monday I should have a load of banging sales, especially since I did that thing last week where I put a load of stuff on Vinted. I carried on putting stuff on Vinted. I put 5 items on a day. Friday, Saturday. Didn't do any yesterday because I was at work. But I have sold nothing on Vinted. It's just been an extra annoyance because 3 of the things which I have listed here were listed on Vinted, so I had to go in and delist them. So things that were listed on Vinted that didn't sell and then sold on eBay are Killstar. These had for a while, but I mean obviously they're going to sell now that it's doom and gloom weather. And horrible autumn, you can't even see. I don't know why I'm being like that, because I like autumn, but I don't feel like I can enjoy the changing of the leaves when I know that it's the changing of the thermostat. You spend the entire winter worrying about whether your boiler is going wrong. It's all of those things you don't have to worry about the rest of the year. So I know that there's aspects of autumn that's nice, and thank God that we have Christmas. Well, yeah, I mean, God is in charge of Christmas. Because otherwise, how would we get through? It's just, I think it's brought around a lot of depression and a lot of us. Yeah, so anyway, I've only sold these for I sold these for $17.99 on eBay. I had them listed for $14.99 on Vinted. They did get watches on Vinted, but they didn't sell. There we are. Killstar. Had them for a while. A sea salt top, which I was kind of thinking, this is probably more of a summery thing, but it sold straight away. And it sold on Vinted. No, it sold on eBay. £20. Or did I accept an offer? I don't know. I think I accepted an offer of 15. It is a larger size. It is the sailor top. I do have another one of these, but I also have a husband who isn't really very motivated either. And it's there, and it's like this one. I would have rather taken a photograph of this in the other room against the door background so that it brought out the white in it. But he never seems to manage to get out of bed very quickly, and I think that's rubbing off on me. In that obviously I worked yesterday, and then I went to bed at just gone 11 because I was knackered, and I didn't even piss around on social media or anything like that. I did go to sleep, and then I woke up at 8 o'clock, felt like I should get up, and then I went back to sleep until 11. So literally I've had 12 hours sleep ish, because other people in this building are motivated because they keep getting drills and things out, which I think is another thing which is adding to our frustration as a household, because the vibrations seem to undo a lot of the work that we've done. So we'd done a lot of work in the bathroom, and then I know that we'd been fiddling about, and we left really late to go out because I had post that needed dropping off, and I know that I had to queue up with all of the weirdos in the shop. There's always weirdos in the shop, but there's different layers of weirdo, isn't there? And I know that I'm late when it's really busy in there. So the bathroom was okay, and when we came back, there was leaks all over. And we have investigated, and we cannot work out where these leaks came from. The only thing that I can explain, it's almost like stigmata. There is no explanation for it, because there was a leak under the toilet. However, where it had leaked, there was no water source, because the shit pipe comes in from the wall. It's not a hole in the ground. I always thought it was a hole in the ground, but it isn't. It was attached there, and then you've got your inlet pipe there, and then obviously there's a bowl of water. But if it had leaked from that, then it would have been empty, and it wasn't. So can't work out what's happened. We have monitored the situation, and it hasn't happened again. Then there was a whole load of pipes, because it comes from the sink and it goes round, and all of that is exposed. There was a whole load of leaks there, but we had the skirting board sort of boxing in was there, but none of it was where the actual pipe was. So that made no sense. And then there was the shower bit, and that possibly could have leaked. So that bit, we let that bit off, but there was so much water that it was it just didn't make sense. So we haven't done anything because it's been sort of drying out. So it's just been a real frustration, and there's no logic behind it. Yeah, so I don't know. It just feels like there's a malevolent spirit here, and I don't know. It's dragging us down. But anyway, we'll carry on. I don't even know how to explain it. And if you said it, if you say it to anybody, it sounds weird. And I know that on previous occasions when I've had a plumber round and they have done work and then it has leaked afterwards, and I've brought them in, and I've seen the look on their faces because they can't work out why it has leaked. And then they go away and say they'll come back, and then they never come back. And this is why we're doing the work ourselves. So there obviously is something that's not logical here. Yeah, cannot explain it. However, we will never move unless we sort ourselves out. Right, another sea salt item. This is very washed out. I'm sure that I've only got £10 for this, because I didn't want to accept much for it, but I also thought Remembrance Day, poppies, let's get that sold. Size 16. Yes, I think £10 for that. Again, that was on Vinted. Didn't sell on Vinted, sold on eBay. And then these sold this morning, and I've accepted £12 50 for these because they're just not quite right. They look washed out. They seemed all right when I picked them up, Carhartt, but there's a few flaws on them. For some reason, there's a flaw at the top of the pocket and it's on both of them. So it's really obvious there. And I can't even work out why. So it's not even like the popper lines up with that bit. Maybe it's intentional. These are the Marshall jogger. I've had the Marshall jogger before, and thinking about it, it took them ages to sell before. So I have no clue why I picked these up. So don't do that. Don't get the Marshall jogger unless you're happy to accept a low offer. So there we are. 4 things. It's a tragedy. I'm following enough people who are like doing really well with eBay that it just makes you feel like an absolute failure. And not, you know, and I think a lot of people are failing at eBay. Those people who are failing at eBay are excelling at Vinted, and that is not me. Yeah, so I just don't know what to say. If you came here for motivation, you ain't going to get it, because I'm just so frustrated. And there is bits all over this carpet. Yeah, it must be just a doorway to hell here, or it's just me. I am lazy. I am not cleaning enough. I have no motivation, and I need to find it somewhere. But how can you find motivation? I'm just putting these in poly bags. Putting these in poly bags so that they don't pick up any more debris or get screwed up or get taffled up, in the fact that I am now going to show you all of the things which I've picked up, because for some reason, even though I'm not selling that much on Vinted or eBay, I am continuing to pick up clothing. What I would really like to do is really scale back the clothes and do the Lego, but it has not happened. Right, so this was £5. Look how gorgeous it is. I have one of these. I think it's black. Mine is plain black, but it's a really nice, and these are sold on QVC, I believe. Dennis Basso. Let's get realistic. We're not going to dip this in a cup of coffee. Yeah, it's an XL as well, and it's amazing. Now, some people get £100 for these. I had a really, really beautiful one last year. I did not get £100 for it. I didn't even get £70 for it. I got £50 for it. So I am going to be realistic, and I am not going to list this for any more than 50, because that's how I become a museum. And look how much storage room that's going to take up. That's ridiculous. So we're going to be in and we are going to be out. I then have another jumper here, jacket, coat. Never found this brand before. This is quite worn in places, and I need to repair this little bit here. It just needs a bit of stitching because you can see the lining. I realistically think again that this is only a 50 quid thing. I know that people get upwards of 200 for this. But when I try and push the ceiling collapses on me. Only time I ever really got really good was a coat that was absolutely ditched. It was a Canada Goose, and it had damage all over. It had a popper missing. It had various issues, like the down was coming out, and I put it on a 99p auction, and then it sold for 250. So maybe that's it. The key is to getting the people. And I've got the nicest feedback as well on this. This says extra small, so that's another thing which is going against it. Anyway, Alpha Industries. Nice fur collar. Yeah. it has seen better days. It's just, you know, when things have just got a little bit of wear on it, then there's like wear on the zip. So that's why I wouldn't want to like push the ceiling too much with this. I'm sure that there's wear on the cuffs as well. The usual suspects. But the lining isn't damaged. No. So, yeah, I mean, it's an easy 50. Maybe 100. I just don't know. And at least it has a hood. Yeah, I think that's the thing. That with that fur coat, the fact that it doesn't have a hood will go against it. The coat that I was trying to sell for the 100 region had a hood on it there as well. It didn't work out well. So who even knows? I think the thing is for me, because I have an eBay store which is 250 to 300 items. I just don't get the traction that other people have when they've got like 500 items. When people have a high turnover of things, when they have more stuff, they sell more stuff. And then the other stuff, which is languished, sells quicker. So it does hold you back when you're a smaller shop. So I don't want to be a big shop. I really don't. I don't want to be somebody who has to worry about VAT. I don't want to be somebody who is going to be railroaded early doors into doing digital tax returns. Because frankly, if they ask me to start buying software, I feel like they're not going to hear from me, because it's just going to annoy me. If I've got to pay for QuickBooks, it's going to annoy me. Anyway, all this is a chore jacket type thing. I have washed this. It still feels damp, but it was washed like over a week ago. It stank and it was horrible. I think I paid £6 for this. Those coats I paid £5 for, and I'm sure that I've paid more for this. I can't remember, because these things have been sat around for ages. These are scarves, which you've already seen, which I intended to list. And then instead of listing them, I just left them in a pile. This, you wouldn't believe who this is. My other sheep jumper that I've listed is a sheep cardigan. I've listed, and you know, while people are interested, they're not interested in paying the price tag, which I again feel is less than what other people have charged £50 to £60 for the same cardigan. I have mine on for £40, and that's been listed on Vinted with people going, "Oh, I can only afford £15." The same people who have the same stuff listed for a lot more. I mean, if you're gonna tell a lie, cover your back. If you're gonna source from Vinted, just get yourself another account. Don't use your reselling account for it. Anyway, so this sheep jumper is actually Zara. I feel that this is going to race out of the door. Size small again, but that has got to do well. This, I think I'm going to try and push the window, and I'm going to try and get crazy money. I think I'm going to try and get 40 to 50 for this. Stone Roses. It is a tour t-shirt. It's Heaton Park 2012. Yeah, it's got the date on there. I felt that I was a bit confused at the time when I looked at it, but it is Gildan. So yeah, don't know. I thought it was something else, but I'm so used to seeing things, and then they're actually what do you call it? Primark. This is a ratty cardigan, which I don't even know why it's in here. It's been in here for ages. I've cleaned out a load of boxes and just flung it all in here. So a lot of it, I even need to make a charity bag and get rid of it. I feel like I bought this ages ago to do a debobbling video. Did the debobbling, and now it's still here. Or there's a hole in it which I'm supposed to have dealt with, and now I don't know where said hole is. But mint velvet, I've seen people do really well with mint velvet. New with tags though. Lots of people selling stuff that's new with tags. It doesn't seem. Oh, it has got a care label in it. The trouble is with stuff like this is that it has cashmere, but it's like lost in lots of other horrific fabric contents. Cotton, viscose, polyester, and then we put 7% cashmere knocking around in there. So it does look like it needs a debubble, but I don't care. I just want that gone. I don't want a box. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff, and the amount of stuff which I've got could probably be condensed into such a smaller amount of space. So I think I do need to be at a point where I'm putting my stuff on at delicious prices and cutting down on the amount of stuff which I've got, because it's getting stupid. The amount of Lego which I have, which I haven't dealt with because I'm constantly dealing with clothes in the time that I have available, and I'm wasting my time. This is the other sailor top, so obviously I do need to get into the bedroom so I can take. We have magnolia walls in here. You won't know because it's windows on two sides. It's triangular in here. I don't know if you've ever realised. So that corner of the room goes into a triangle, so that my desk is sort of like in that corner because it's a very odd corner. And then we've got one wall that isn't like quite right, but it's part of the triangle, but it comes out like that, and it isn't really. It's just peculiar. So this, although it's a triangle, this wall, it curves, which is why we can't open the windows in this room. These two windows are never opened because when you open them, it's really hard to close them. So we don't ever open those windows because they're on this curve and they're almost like the architecture needed a good punch in the face. We're going to have more of this because I've seen sort of quirky architects coming into the world clueless. So the only ones that we can open is this. And that's why our balcony goes into a curve. But you see that? It goes into a triangle, but it's the whole thing on this side is a curved wall. So it's a bit of a pain in the bottom. Anyway, what I was saying is we've got cream magnolia walls, and when I put white items on there, it just doesn't look quite right. I put them on the doors, which are brown coloured, so that it brings out the white colour. Anyway, this, I think it should be another size 22, because it was bought at the same time as the other ones. £3. No. I paid £5 for that. I paid £5 for that because it annoyed me at the time. And then I still bought it because I'm weird. I have another sea salt here. This I put back, and they decided to buy it. 22 again. So it's like a cachet of the same donator. This one was £4, which is why, it all sort of makes up for itself. I wasn't going to buy it, and then I was like, actually, it's a large size, it will sell. But I don't expect to get any more than 20 for it. Clear wings sweatshirt with a collar. It'll sell, won't it? It'll sell because we have had such an abrupt welcome to autumn. Are you looking forward to your heating bill? And this, you see, this is what I mean about like fits and starts. This was like £2, and this is brand new with tags, Sweaty Betty. Yeah, I just don't know. Small, but it's brand new with tags. It looks nondescript, but look at the back of it. It is so cool. I don't know if I'd want to work out in that. I'd either feel like a superhero or a flapping bird. But, somebody wants to work out with this. Scallop Edge Tea. It is nice to be able to know exactly what something is. Yeah, so I'm hoping that is more like the £25 mark. I don't know. Very strange. I think that might be everything that I have to show you. I can't imagine that there's anything in here that I haven't already showed you. These need to go in the wash. They look like they've got jizzle down them. Oh my God, it's just as well that I got all of this out, because I was going to do this on Friday, but Friday and Saturday were catastrophic weather. I mean, the weather on Saturday, crazy. There was 16 buckets on the shop floor when I got in on Sunday morning, because that's how many leaks that they'd had. See, this is the problem with the fact that the sword of Damocles is like hanging over the shop, is that there's not really much point in things being repaired. And we were feeling sorry for ourselves, but then my boss said he'd seen what was happening at one of the other shops where they had an actual hole in the roof and it was coming in like a waterfall. But the thing is that we're all losing stock because we've got massive leaks. But they're probably going to use it as a reason to lock us down and put in like luxury apartments. People like us will be leaving Manchester very soon. So these that have the jizz stain are Saint and Sophia, size 14. I've had Saint and Sophia before. I've seen other people do really well with it. I did not do very well with it last time. The last thing I had was a pair of trousers that had like a stripe down the side, and it just didn't sell. They needed extreme wash. What else? Oh yes. This is a very nice little find. Now, I think I've spent £8 on this. This needs a wash as well. This has just been buried in there because I've just been picking bits up and flinging them in there. So this is Off-White. Something that was worth a lot of money in the past, but I have an Off-White t-shirt that's on my store at the minute. It has not sold. It has barely any watchers. I have priced it at £40. Maybe that's because people obviously think that it's fake. But it's got terrible pit stains, and I don't feel like I could charge any more than that for it because it's got these terrible stains on it. I mean, you can't even give somebody a bargain. Anyway, Off-White, and that needs a wash. So can't do that today. And this has got to be the last thing, which this has probably been in a previous haul. This looks like this needs a wash as well. Oh no, this has had a wash, but the stains, it feels like the stains are still on it. This was £4, and this is Rafa. This was really dirty. So Rafa, I had a t-shirt, it was brand new with tags. I put it on eBay for £30. And somebody sent me an offer of 25, and I accepted that, and then they didn't pay. So in disgust, I listed it on Vinted, and it sold straight away for 30. Delivered fine, no arguments over it. So I think that is one of these things which made me think, I have to start listing things on Vinted. So this is Rafa as well. This is a cycling brand. When I see all the cyclists in Manchester getting in my way, trying to run me over, ringing their bell at me, then this is just as a pedestrian, they ring their bells at pedestrians all the time. This is why I want them dead. That's me as a pedestrian. Then I get in my car and they're doing even more retarded things. It's like I sort of look at them and I'm just like, I can kill you, right? You have a beef with me as a pedestrian, and all I can do is yell at you. But now I have a vehicle and I can take you out. But I obviously we live in a world of consequence where you can't exact justice with your vehicle because that's murder or manslaughter, depending on how good your solicitor is. But anyway, the upshot is that when these people die, this is the brand that they will be wearing. So there we are, Rafa. There's nothing to it. It is just boring. It's boring. So I am going to try that one on Vinted first. I am going to do what I said I was going to do. I am going to list things on eBay and then put them in scheduled. and put them to go live in 3 days. 2 days. Let's say 2 days, maybe 3 days. I don't know. One or the other. I don't know. I feel that it's best for me to just wait. Wait it out on Vinted, see if I can sell it without fees, and then let it go live on eBay where it will sell, and then I can delete it off Vinted. This just sounds really far-fetched. But the thing is that I do have to carry on like this because I'm not making enough money on eBay. The fact that eBay changed the total that you see, the 90-day total, they did away with, and they've put, your year-to-date total, tells me just how shocking eBay is, because I think I'm at $7,000 for the year on there, which isn't very good, and that isn't profit, is it? Because, the fees, the postage, your cost of goods, it's going to be terrible. The amount of money that I've earned on there will hardly be near or there. So before, when it was like a 90-day total, I thought, it's just my 90-day total. The year, you have to think of things in terms of the year. And now I can see things in terms of the year. I know that eBay have changed so much that they have destroyed who they are. So therefore, this person who was 100% an eBay lister is now going to be putting her stuff on Vinted first. So that's going to be my goal, and that's what I've got to do today. So I've got to mend that code. Annoyingly, I've now got to wash these two things here, which is annoying because the male mannequin is the annoying thing. The thing is that I could also do with getting all of the crap which is in my way. So the mannequin is behind the TV. It's like I was telling you, because we've got this triangular bit here, the TV, so we've got the sofa, then we've got this here, and then we've got the TV there. So we have like a little like triangle bit there, which is where I hide my mannequin and sort of like put junk behind there, which is why the layout in here is weird. But it makes sense because of what I'm doing, because then I've sort of like got an office with a triangular section, and then I throw all my junk there. Said junk needs to be moved. So, when I need to get the mannequin out. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway, listing does have to take place, but then I am in work for the rest of the week from Wednesday. So hopefully I'm going to get a lot done today and tomorrow. I'm going to set an alarm, and I'm going to get myself up out of bed tomorrow morning, because I am not laying in bed. It's going, whilst it's nice to have a week off work, it plays havoc with you. I am definitely a night owl. It has been so easy for me. The moment that I went on annual leave, well, the first thing that we did was go to my parents, which was just as well, because they do go to bed early. But I naturally stay up until 3 a.m. It's naturally when I'm awake. But I also don't really achieve much. If I do listing of an evening, I get a lot done. But it's not the greatest. When I've got stuff like this, sometimes I'm sort of like looking at that. You see, I can't actually tell whether that's navy or black. This one's definitely black. I just think it's faded. But yeah, if you're doing stuff in the evening, trying to work out whether something like that is navy or black, it's not happening. But anyway, yeah, that's my position. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that the stuff that I'm picking up makes sense, because I am being so picky. Stuff which I would have picked up previously, I leave. I really only want the best of the best. I would like stuff that you list and sell straight away. But I almost get the impression that because I am like a small store, it just isn't happening for me. But, I'm going to keep the faith, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Clear the backlog, and then I'm going to move on to Lego. That's why Ziggy's here. Yeah, you best sort this out. Oh, geez. My last Lego video was filmed in December, and it never went live. So I'm going to make her put that video on.
and queue it up after this one. So if you want to watch a Lego video with a Christmas tree in the background, it's coming up next. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Ziggy, over and out.